Welcome to the Weekday Report for Friday, February 21st. I'm Tracy Pelishek. Here's a brief look at the news. The state will appeal a federal judge's decision to overturn Mark Jensen's conviction for killing his wife with poison. The State Department of Justice this morning filed a notice of appeal with the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Chicago. A federal judge ruled in December that the Kenosha man was improperly tried for the death of Julie Jensen because he couldn't confront her about a letter she wrote implicating him as a primary suspect in the event of her death. Jensen was convicted and sentenced to life in prison in 2008. A state DNA analyst testified Thursday that a murder victim's DNA was found on the hat and shoes of the man charged in her death. Lisa Marie Mazzara was found dead in the Benai Zedek Cemetery in Summers in August 2012. She had been beaten and strangled. Javier Garcia, the last person known to have seen her alive, is on trial for her death. The analyst also said that DNA from at least 4 male subjects, including the accused murderer and the victim's father, were found on Mazzara's clothes and fingernails. 25 students competed Thursday in the 11th annual Kenosha Unified School District Black History Bee. The contest operated like a spelling bee, with students coming to the microphone one by one to answer questions in front of a large audience of classmates, teachers, and families. The students answered questions from African American history, many focused on individuals' achievements, civil rights leaders, and the history of the people of Kenosha County. Clayton Bishop, a 5th grader from Pleasant Prairie Elementary, was the winner. This week's Fix It feature looks at a vacant house that's troubling neighbors in the Harborside neighborhood. Here's Bill Guida with the story.
This is Kenosha News reporter Bill Guida for this week's Fix It. Today's problem? This vacated home at 4308 6th Avenue on the city's north side, where, as we were just told by a neighbor, there are 5 raccoons now living in the house, which was long ago vacated by human beings. The owner of the home died in 2007, a year after the city had put a repair order on the house. Subsequent repair orders were issued by the city to no avail, and the county had informed the city a couple years ago that they were going to take the property for delinquent taxes. However, City Inspections Department told Fix It that the county then informed the city a year later they would no longer be taking the house for back taxes, and the city is now in the process of having a raise order put on the home, much to the relief of the neighbors. This is Bill Guida for Kenosha News Fix It.
Thanks, Bill. Trumper prevailed in a crosstown basketball doubleheader Thursday night. Andrew Horshak has the details on the boys' matchup.
The Tremper boys basketball team wrapped up the regular season on a high note with a 60-41 victory over rival Bradford on Thursday night at the Bradford Fieldhouse. The victory halted a 3-game losing streak for the Trojans, who open the postseason next week against Indian Trail. On Thursday, Donzel Riggins scored a game-high 19 points for the Trojans, while DeMarco Patrick and Carl Anderson added 10 apiece. Tremper outscored Bradford 28-7 in the second quarter after the game was tied at 14 after 1. Andrew Horshak, Kenosha News.
In girls action, Tremper beat Bradford 58-47, improving to 15-7 overall and 10-4 in the SEC. What's trending today? The Wisconsin Senate approved a bill earlier this week that would make it illegal to deploy an unmanned drone capable of video or audio recording in areas where people have a reasonable expectation of privacy. It would also require police to obtain warrants before using drones to collect evidence. What do you think? Tell us on our Facebook page. Up next is Diane Giles with Voices on the Street.
Get out the popcorn. It's almost time for the Academy Awards presentation. This is Diane Giles, and I've come over to Southport Plaza this morning to ask people who's their favorite pick to walk away with an Oscar this year. And this is what they had to say.
My favorite in the Oscars this year is the movie Frozen. I think it's a very beautiful, inspirational movie.
My favorite is Frozen because I think that it was just a really well done movie. It has a good message.
The Oscar will go to Leonardo DiCaprio.
What was he in?
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Phillips.
Captain Phillips?
Yes.
You think that'll be the best picture of the year, huh?
Yes.
Thanks, Diane. Now here's a look at what we're working on today. The Gateway Technical College Board is concerned about the local effects of Governor Scott Walker's property tax relief plan. John Kordovich is sorting through the details. And Diane Giles has this week's Sunday Choice feature, a look at managing mental illness. Pick up a copy of the Kenosha News and check kenoshanews.com for all the details on these stories and more. I'm Tracy Pelishek with the Weekday Report.